I was married for 12 years to one of America's most trusted marriage experts, until a DNA test proved he wasn't just cheating. He wasn't even who he said he was. I spent 12 years married to the man America trusted to save marriages, until a single DNA test proved he wasn't a counselor at all. He was a fraud who stole my life, my money, and left me raising a child that wasn't even biologically his. My name is Emily Thompson. For 12 years I was Mrs. Dr. Ryan Thompson, wife of the famous marriage expert you've seen on podcasts, TEDx stages, and every airport bookstore. Ryan wrote 3 New York Times bestsellers, Trust Rebuilt, The Fidelity Formula, and the one that made us rich, The Perfect Partnership. We met at a relationship conference in Austin, Texas, back in 2012. I was a 28-year-old graphic designer, burnt out from a bad breakup. Ryan was this charismatic 32-year-old speaker with the kindest eyes and the most soothing voice. He quoted research like it was poetry. After his talk, I walked up, told him his words actually healed something in me. He smiled, took my hand, and said, "Then let me prove it works in real life." 6 months later, we were married in a vineyard outside Austin. Our daughter, Harper, came 2 years after that, our miracle baby, after 2 rounds of IVF that drained our savings but filled our hearts. Ryan insisted on filming our journey for his first book. See? Even the expert had to fight for his family. The world ate it up. We lived in a stunning modern home in Westlake Hills, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Texas hills, a home office lined with his book covers, and a podcast studio in the basement where he interviewed couples every week. I quit my job to manage his brand, booking tours, designing his social media, even co-hosting Marriage Monday Lives. Fans called us number couple goals. I believed every single word. Why wouldn't I? The man literally wrote the book on how to never let your spouse down. About 18 months ago, Ryan's schedule exploded. More book tours, more corporate retreats, more emergency couples intensives in Dallas, Houston, even Miami. He'd leave Sunday night and come home Thursday smelling like hotel soap and someone else's perfume. His phone, once charging openly on the kitchen island, now lived in his pocket on silent. When I asked who was texting at 2 a.m., he'd sigh that patient therapist sigh and say, "Babe, it's a client in crisis. Confidentiality, remember?" I started noticing little things that made my stomach twist. A woman's hair tie on the floor of his suitcase, lip gloss that wasn't my shade on the collar of his dress shirt. Once I found a hotel receipt for the 4 Seasons in Miami, 2 nights, king bed, room service for 2 when he had told me it was a solo speaking gig. I confronted him gently at first. "Ryan, you teach people how to spot emotional distance." "I feel it." He pulled me into his arms, looked me in the eyes with those same sincere eyes from our wedding photos, and whispered, "Emily, I'm under so much pressure to be perfect. The book sales, the brand. I'm scared if I admit I'm struggling, it all falls apart, but I would never cheat on you. Never." I felt guilty for doubting him. This was the man who helped thousands. I started therapy myself, ironically, with one of his proteges and tried harder. Date nights, new lingerie, even surprising him on a business trip once. But every time he came home, the distance grew. Harper started asking why Daddy was always on his phone instead of playing Tea Party. I smiled through it, but inside I was unraveling. My best friend kept texting, No one is that busy unless they're hiding something." I told her she didn't understand. Ryan was different. Then came the night everything cracked open. Ryan was in the shower after yet another late flight. His laptop was open on the kitchen counter. He'd forgotten to lock it. A new email notification popped up. Subject, "Our Miami night. Can't stop thinking about you." My hands shook as I clicked. It was from a 29-year-old woman named Brooke, one of his podcast guests from 6 months earlier. The thread went back months. Hotel photos, voice memos of her moaning his name, a calendar invite titled "Next Intensive, Just Us," And the worst line, "I know you said you can't leave Emily yet, but I'm tired of being your secret." I sat there frozen until he walked out in a towel. When he saw my face and the open laptop, he went pale. He dropped to his knees right there on the tile. "Emily, it was one time. She seduced me. The pressure of being everyone's hero." I cracked. "I swear it's over. I'll go to therapy, real therapy, and we'll fix this. Please, Harper needs us." He cried harder than I'd ever seen. He quoted his own book back to me. "Even the strongest couples have seasons of weakness." I wanted to believe him so badly. Our daughter was upstairs sleeping. His career, our entire income was built on his image. I told him we'd go to counseling together. I gave him another chance. God help me, I did. 3 weeks later, the second bomb dropped. Brooke emailed me directly. Not Ryan, me. The subject line, "You deserve to know the truth." Attached were ultrasound photos. She was 12 weeks pregnant. And she wrote, "He promised he'd leave you after the baby. He said your marriage was already dead. Do a DNA test if you don't believe me." I drove to CVS at 2 a.m., bought a paternity kit, and mailed it in secret. Ryan was on another tour. When the results came back 10 days later, 99.999% match, I threw up in the driveway. But that wasn't even the worst part. While waiting for the results, I hired a forensic accountant and a private investigator, not because I wanted to, but because the lawyer I secretly consulted said I needed proof for custody. What they uncovered made the affair look like nothing. Ryan's entire identity was fake. His real name was Ryan Mitchell, not Thompson. He never earned a PhD. He bought the degree from a diploma mill in Florida. The heartbreaking divorce story he used in every book and talk? Fabricated. The couple he claimed to have saved in Chapter 7 of Trust Rebuilt? They were actors he paid $500 each. He had been sued 3 times in California for fraud, taking desperate clients' money for fake intensives and ghosting them. Warrants were already out. He'd used my graphic design skills and my family's connections to launch the brand. He'd siphoned $187,000 from our joint accounts into offshore accounts under his real name. And the final gut punch? The DNA test on the baby wasn't just confirmation, it was his. The lab report also flagged a rare genetic marker that proved Ryan wasn't biologically related to his own parents. He had stolen someone else's identity years ago to escape his real criminal record in Ohio. The man I married didn't even exist. I planned it perfectly. Ryan had a sold-out live event at the Austin Convention Center, 2,500 fans there, to hear Dr. Ryan Thompson teach how to spot deception in your marriage. I bought a ticket in the front row under a fake name. Harper was safe with my sister. The lights went down. Ryan walked on stage in his perfect navy suit, smiling that $1 million smile. The crowd cheered. He started his usual opener. "Trust is the foundation of every marriage." I stood up, microphone in my hand. I'd bribed a stage tech. The spotlight hit me. "Actually, Ryan, trust died the day you faked your entire life." The room went dead silent. I held up my phone, and the big screen behind him mirrored it. The DNA results, the fake diploma, the bank transfers, the ultrasound, the warrant notices, everything. "You told the world how to rebuild trust, while you were cheating on me with Brooke, impregnating her, and stealing almost $200,000 from our family. You're not Dr. Ryan Thompson. You're a con man named Ryan Mitchell with active fraud warrants. And this baby?" I pointed to the ultrasound. "Congratulations, America. Your marriage guru is about to be a father again, just not with the wife he's been lying to for 12 years. The crowd gasped. Phones came out. Ryan's face drained of color. He reached for the mic, stammering, "Emily, this is a misunderstanding." I cut him off, voice steady for the first time in months. "The only misunderstanding is that I ever believed a single word you said. Harper and I are done. The FBI is already in the lobby. They got the documents an hour ago. Enjoy your perfect partnership in federal court." Security tried to grab me. I stepped back. "I'm leaving, but every single person here deserves to know the truth. I dropped the mic. The room erupted. Cameras flashed. Ryan collapsed to his knees on stage, exactly the way he had in our kitchen, only this time thousands of people watched him break. I walked out of that convention center with nothing but my purse and the knowledge that I had just ended the biggest lie in modern marriage advice. Ryan was arrested that night on fraud charges. Brooke kept the baby. I kept the house, full custody of Harper, and every penny the courts could claw back. It's been 4 months. Harper still asks for Daddy sometimes. I tell her the truth in age-appropriate pieces. Daddy told a lot of lies, sweetheart, but we don't have to. I started my own quiet Instagram, no brand, just real talk for women who've been gaslit by the very men who claim to heal them. Ladies, if the man who teaches the world about trust suddenly needs space, if his phone becomes a fortress, if your gut screams louder than his explanations, listen, do the DNA test. Dig into the background, and when the truth explodes, don't be afraid to blow it up in public. I exposed my husband in front of 2,500 people and ended his entire career in one night. But sometimes I still wonder, did I do the right thing, or did I go too far? If you were me, would you have walked away quietly, or destroyed everything he built? If this story made you feel seen, drop A in the comments and tell me, would you have gone public? I read every single comment. You are stronger than you know. Hit subscribe. Next week I'm sharing how I rebuilt my life after the man who wrote the book on love tried to erase mine. You've got this, beautiful. And remember, the real expert on your marriage is you.